What is going on?
What's up? Welcome back to Kast.
Love it.
How you doing, man?
No complaints.
Well, I gave you space. You actually did have at least two legitimate complaints since the last time that we did
Yeah,
did a cast.
and I'm psychotic during a game, but when the game is over, it's very rare that you have a genuine complaint that the referees cost you a game. You know, very rare
Yeah,
because good teams overcome. So you got to overcome.
yeah.
You know,
Hey, so we can start off right there. We can start off right there. What is your opinion of the talk in the sports world? And I think it's double-edged because I didn't even know about the NCAA. They're keeping that under wraps as much as they can. I didn't know that it's even more players than they have announced. They just have put paper on like 20 or 30 players, but it's actually the investigation spans over 100.
you know, it's very under wraps because I heard about it and I forgot about it because I have ruthless ADHD. But when I heard about it, I was like, all right, I'll see that in because I'm fairly a news junkie. I travel, on a bus for work, and I leave it
Yeah.
2 hours before my start time. So I usually get to work 45 minutes early. But if there's traffic or whatever, but the point is, I have a lot of time to see all kinds of different news. And I haven't seen it. I did hear a St. John's player was implicated, but I don't know who. And I'm
Oh, they
those
got a St. John's player?
Yeah. And I'm one of those people who if you
Oh,
if you get caught cheating, fuck you. Throw the fucking book at them. I don't care who you are. I don't care what
yeah.
team it is. I have to me, standards are like quarterbacks. If you have two, you have none. And
I like that.
it's the
I
truth.
like that. I got a time mark that.
And the right thing is the right thing. Always. Nobody always does the right thing. And that's fine. That's being human. But when you start making excuses for it, you're a blowjob. What you do is
Absolutely.
admit that you fucked up,
Absolutely.
you try not to do it again, and you keep it moving. And that, by the way, anybody
Yeah.
watching, that's a good life lesson. If somebody wants to do a victory dance and you admit that you were wrong, if they carry on, they're a jerk off. It's over. Once you admit it, it's over. Admit it, own it, and keep it moving.
Yeah. And let them become what they're going to become.
1,000%.
So, so with the college, like that's a problem. That's a big problem with the I mean,
It is.
that's a big problem. We're not talking about adults. We're talking about kids.
And the next level of that problem is all of these sports are in bed with gambling.
Oh
And
yeah.
now you have players shaving points. Man, shaving points in the 70s when you had a family in genuine financial hardship and you had to apply through hardship to go pro.
I remember that.
Yes, then
Yeah.
okay, I that's more of a
I
dilemma.
remember the hardships. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the right thing? But now these kids are making money. Some of these kids are making more money than me and you combined that aren't that good. The best kids,
Exactly.
you're generating money. I understand that. But if you're a fringe player and you're probably not going to make the league, but you're good. I mean, fringe player in terms of NBA, but you're a
Yeah.
good to great college player. Really, those 6'5", 6'6" face the basket guys. Um, there's a lot of those that are great college players, but are not going to go in the NBA. Some of whom are going to make good money playing in Europe or in South America or other countries, Venezuela, wherever. But some of them aren't. Some of them are going to be great college players in a system, on a team that aren't quite good enough to play pro, and they're making money. Those guys make money. NIL is a big payday, and I'm not overly sympathetic. I've yet to hear a story that leads me to believe that we should be sympathetic to him.
Man, I don't know. I have a kid in college, so here we are. Grateful for the scholarship. Do I wish that he could get thrown? I don't. I really can't comment because I'm not in that situation.
Here's the thing, and this is the truth. Does he have aspirations to play professionally?
I think he has desires, but he's 6'3", offensive lineman, 240, 250. And he knows that now needs at least 3 more inches.
Is he
He
athletic?
moved to center though.
Yeah, okay, that's a positive on the offensive line. You can be the
Yeah,
smallest guy there, but
yeah.
that size to me says NFL fullback.
Mhm.
Is does he have the movement skills? Does he have the hands?
I, Everyone else is. He's real big, so I don't see how he's not. But he just started out. Okay, the kid broke his collarbone when he was 9 or 10. His first year playing football, broke his collarbone. Okay, never played again until he was 15 in high school just to do something. And they put him on the offensive line, and he started from that point on.
Okay.
It is the oddest thing.
It's There are stories out there of people who came from further away from like prospect to making it.
Uh-huh.
John Randall was not drafted.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So depending
Hall of
on
Famer.
yes, depending on what his skill set is and his desire and how realistic he can make himself into a guy with a chance.
I haven't heard him. The kid wants to open up a dispensary and live off the land.
You know what? Then happiness is its own destination, and I'd never tell somebody not to go there.
That, like, as a parent, it's one of those things where it's like he's not caught up in the world that much, my kid, and I appreciate it. So I haven't put it in, I haven't parentally impressed on upon him all the holes and bitches and all of the spending or anything because it's not in my wheelhouse anyway. But I haven't pressured his mother though. That's the pressure. She she sees it as payday. So, and I think that's his rebellion against her.
Okay. Uh, you know, I've I've I told my kids I'm one of those people that's difficult in a weird way. But I told my kids, I encourage you to rebel against me. You have to reject me and what I stand for, you know, and you can come back around, but you got to go through that.
Yeah.
So why make it difficult?
Yeah. You know what? If he wants to, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I kind of stand back. No, I don't stand back, but float around. And I'm like, I'm here when you need me. I've made every mistake. So I'm going to really see you. We in contact and I'm around. I'm going to see where the energy's headed.
It's something that is really case by case. My son encounters, well, let's back off. You never spend any time doing comedy professionally at all unless you're in some ways not built for this earth.
Yeah,
It's just
true.
it's just a given. And when you see that in your kid, you want to help, but you can't force that. You
Yeah.
just can't. That's they're either going to be receptive or not.
As long as he's not going to be a comedian, I don't give a fuck what he does.
That's great. My son has no interest in any form of entertainment. His mom sang, his daughter sings. I did comedy. His My cousin, my daughter's godfather, is a professional dancer, a retired professional dancer, but
Okay.
pretty high level. He was the Lord of the Dance
Yeah,
he was basically one of I don't know how many, but co-stars. Like
really.
my daughter, so her godfather, danced the lead in that show on Broadway.
Dude, that's big.
It is.
Like it gets no bigger.
That's what I'm saying at a high level. That's
That's like the highest level.
it is. In fact, he was in the movie. He made a movie. I don't know if there's more than one, but Michael Flatley, who's the guy who invented, and in terms of a guy in his own world, it doesn't get much better than Flatley.
Oh snap.
He invented that genre of big dance show, and
Hmm.
he's become wealthy. But there's a movie about him, and my cousin is basically the guy that's opposite him. The show has a good guy and a bad guy, and I guess Flatley is typically the good guy. My cousin typically did the bad guy. When Flatley reached a certain age, he didn't do the show, but he'd come out at the end and show you, what he could do,
Oh
and
man.
he's legit. But yeah, that at that point, my cousin was involved in like running the show and being in it. So my cousin basically said, let me know what show and I'll do the lead.
Oh snap, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
No, that's really cool. That's like if me and you went and did an hour in Madison Square Gardens. That's the equivalent.
It is. I mean, Broadway.
Yeah, shit, there's no bigger peak. All right, back to the gambling.
Yes.
All right. So, like the college thing, we covered that. Like it ESPN is doing a good job. Doesn't I don't like ESPN, don't like ESPN, and it's ugly. They're ugly. They're nasty because they don't even talk. If they're not going to touch it, if you don't see their big personalities express an opinion,
they're like you got to take a fucking bath after watching them, you know? Because I remember when, the George Michael sports machine and
yes,
Alcoa fantastic finish and
NBC.
the baseball bunch and this week in baseball were all you had in terms of national sports coverage. It wasn't 24/7. Now it's 24/7. And when they were first 24/7, they were pretty genuine. Now they're strictly business. Now they're strictly if they cover the sport gets covered. If they don't cover the sport gets mentioned.
Yep.
Well, they're trying to feed their own universe and yeah, just piss on your credibility, man.
There is no one. It's so bad that you. It's so bad that even if they are good at what they do, where they're at, disqualifies them now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
You
it's
could be the best broadcast, best journalist, but if you work for ESPN, like that's not a good thing anymore for I think true sport fans.
because it's a business and they're not trying to block their own bank account,
Mm-mm.
which too many things should not be a business, but are a business. And at the very top of that list is information, and I don't care what arena we're talking about. The facts are the facts,
Yep. Dude,
and
that's knowledge what you just said. I'm trying to get the game on.
no, I was just going to ask, I'm
Yeah,
ready.
let's do it before it kicks off. I think
That's
they
what
may
I
have
said.
or
This will be an express version, but I'm cool with that. They
okay.
did the philosophical format section, so
And people enjoy it. Just so you know, people are watching and they enjoy it. They enjoy our conversation.
I like it because we're not really doing it for anything but itself. It's not a
Every
bit. It's not guilty of what ESPN is.
exactly. And what I get, Christina, her coworker, female nurses at nighttime, and they'll listen to it. They say they put it on. They say because it's easy. Our tones are easy, and they're easy. They're pleasant to listen to. There's not somebody just shocking, like throwing you off with unintentional, like purposeful shouting and shit. And that our conversations, even though they don't know what the fuck we're talking about,
That's awesome.
they like listening to it. And they think that you must have invented pizza. I'm dead ass. They were one of her friends were like, he knows a lot about pizza.
And I will actually go to a pizzeria in the city and order a pizza the way I want it. And I'll tell them straight up. And please feel free to make fun of me for being Irish. I don't mind. I don't mind at all. You got to have your lane, take your lane.
All right. Before we get to the NFL and their bull crap, who do you have tonight?
I'm rooting for Miami. I got a dear friend who's a big Miami Hurricanes fan. So I'm going to root for him. However, I am one of those people that sometimes the first three quarters are going to dictate who I root for in the fourth
Yeah.
when it's not my team. Sometimes I'll watch a game between like Alcorn State and Bighorn University, and by the fourth quarter, I'm psychotic.
I know what you mean.
You know,
Look, when they listed the names, some of the schools that the kids, okay, this is how dirty it is. They were like, it's so big, we have to acknowledge it. They had to arrest some kids to get the person who is giving this money out and causing it. They had to get to that person, and they couldn't get to that person without throwing these kids under the bus. But they were schools like Delaware East, West, North University. And I'm like, who's betting on that shit anyway?
gambling is the worst problem to have.
That's what I've heard.
It is. Alcohol, your body will shut down. You'll go into a coma. Your body will try to survive anything else. In fact, a lot of those other bad habits, alcohol and heroin, I think, are two that your body will fight you on quitting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes. Yes. I know.
gambling, there's no guardrails.
Damn. I never thought about that. I think gambling might be the worst because it's,
And that's why illegal gambling is never going to go anywhere. Because you
huh.
gamble legally, you have to put up the money first. You gamble outside of that, and there's no guardrails.
That's true. Dude, that's true. I'm looking for the game. I can't find the game.
It's on like six of the ESPNs.
Right. Hey, it should be on hold on, let me grab my remote. I am, how about this? I'm going for whoever plays against Indiana.
It's funny because I have another dear friend who's a big Nebraska Cornhuskers fan. And
Uh-huh.
Indiana's a football school now, and Nebraska's a basketball school.
Go figure.
You know, it's wild, but some things just you would never predict it, but it happens. Now, for this game tonight, I'm rooting for Miami. I think Miami has the talent advantage. But the question is, and I don't know the answer to this question, but this is the question. How
Okay.
next level undeniable is Kurt Signetti? How next level undeniable is Mendoza? I believe
Huh.
Signetti could outcoach Cristobal for sure. I don't know if he will, but I believe he can. I think he's a better um, guy to elevate talent. I think but Cristobal might be the best at getting talent. And then
Yeah.
Mendoza and Beck. And I never had any really ill will towards Beck until like the last 3 days. You left Georgia, guy. Keep our name out your mouth. Go play for Miami. Like, why? You go find fucking happiness in this life. I don't understand people like that. I don't.
Ah,
I'll tell you why. When you harp on that shit, you're lying. You're lying.
true.
You still have some unresolved shit about Georgia and what happened.
Yeah. I
And
think
there,
he wishes he was there.
I don't know. And you know what? I don't know. I prefer Gunner Stockton. Let's put it that way. I think Miami would have a better chance of winning if they had Gunner than Beck. But
I said that today.
yes, but I don't, I really was not going to have any ill will towards Beck. But this is the thing. If Miami wins, I'm happy for my friend. If Miami loses, fuck you, Carson Beck. I'll take either. I'm fine with either.
I just don't want Indiana to win. I don't like Indiana. Let it be known. I don't like anything about Indiana. Matter of fact, I'm not gonna call it Indiana. I'm gonna call it out Deanna.
That's funny, and I like it. And I'll tell you why I like it. The same thing happened this year. I have a kind of a rule about sports. If your team has been ass for 25 years, your direct rivals can hate on you. I'm a Yankee fan. Anyone can hate the Yankees. I don't begrudge you that. But if the Pittsburgh Pirates have a solid year and Dodgers fans try to shit on the Pirates, no. So I'm looking at you, Tyrese Halliburton. Eat shit. And then
Oh, stop.
I have a lot of friends in Iowa. Caitlin
I know
Clark,
you do.
and I'm like, all right, fuck you.
Dude, that's hilarious. How you said something and I don't want to let it go because I want people to hear it. I'm proud of how where we have made it to. Could you have imagined, and I got goosebumps because we love sports. I wish we would have met back then between 10 and 15 when it was just didn't understand all of the world's things and it's Tommy Frazier at Nebraska and like it wasn't about putting up 30, 40 points. It was about winning football games, you know? And then you had Bobby Knight, like their teams, even if he didn't have, he figured out a way to make a freaking zebra walk like a Tennessee Walker. Something about the way that he could make average players work together.
There's levels.
Yeah.
There's levels.
And then you just said something. I couldn't have imagined that then. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Nebraska being a basketball school and Indiana being a football school.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you my theory, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong. Because now you can be what you are where you are. Urban Meyer, I don't know where his first job was. Was it Bowling Green or Utah?
Bowling Green.
Okay. Bowling Green was not winning a national title.
Nope.
But if he was in Utah today, would the resources suddenly appear to support him once he demonstrated that he was that guy?
Good point.
Because that's what's going on in Indiana. And Signetti, Signetti was under the radar for me, but Signetti was Saban's recruiting coordinator.
Dude, I didn't realize that half the coaches coach underneath him.
And none of it's the thing about Saban, and I'll give my other friend Joe, the Nebraska guy, credit for this. He's right. Saban's real strength was he never missed on talent. If he took a guy into that program, they didn't have busts,
True.
and I call that sort of the Harvard thing. Harvard doesn't necessarily make you smarter. They just pick the smartest kids. They pick the can't miss kids and then they don't miss. And
Yeah. I'm taking that out. Now that we're back at Kast, I bet you wish you would have heard what we were laughing about right now.
which is a
Keep
shame.
tuning in and we'll stop editing shit out.
That's a shame because I'm also a believer that in a true just world, nothing is off limits humor wise because the reality makes you a jerk off if you get your panties in a bunch about a joke.
Dude, we didn't have those barriers. We didn't have conversations we don't even have them now or have to have. We didn't have those worries when we met in comedy. You know what I mean?
No, and it's a shame because you go to a show, you're seeing a professional. Let them craft the moment. But now, if you go in a negative direction and you're going to turn that around, you can't let that linger.
No,
You can't let the moment happen. You have to jump the moment, and that's not as funny.
no, dude, your joke worked. Your closer worked every time, and it's like my favorite fucking joke. Out of it just stuck with me. You would have trouble in some places telling that joke about the miles, and people actually, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know,
Women would actually be offended.
it's been a while for me since I've been regularly on stage, but that was one of the things, unless I was in a place where they just hated me for my accent, I could get away with a lot because I am oddly wholesome, you know, like
Yeah,
in a way, and I think you are too,
that's why we're here right now
you know.
in our own ways.
I think and I think that's almost like the cartoon, like Bugs Bunny talks. Cartoon rabbits talking is in itself like a what kind of thing.
Yeah,
And I'm you know a street guy, but still oddly wholesome.
yeah, you absolutely are. That if I were a gambling man, my money would be on Michael Irving being drunk on the sidelines.
You know, that's funny because he is also oddly likable.
Absolutely.
He is. And I think part of that is comfortable in your own skin and not necessarily malicious.
He's been a star since he was 16 and he's like in his 60s now, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
He's been a star since,
we do have the game on.
yeah. Okay. There's a familiar face under center.
Yep. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. So my pick is Miami because it's not Indiana.
Now, I'm inclined to agree with you. Miami has a serious talent advantage, and that Miami front four is a problem. And their offensive line. So when you have the advantage in the trenches, generally speaking, it now boils down to can you execute? Can you avoid mistakes? And when you have the offensive line, you can play from ahead. When you have the defensive line, you can attack a team that's trying to play from behind. So that's the formula to put away a game.
They have the ball first. And so far, I think it's in their favor because of that reason right there.
I don't like the deferring shit on kickoffs. I don't like it.
I never have.
Yeah, I
I
don't like
get it, but I never have.
it. And over time, one of my Facebook friends said, he understands giving the other team the ball first because then you get to answer. And that makes sense if the other team doesn't score, all you need is a field goal. If the other team only gets a field goal, okay, you can match them with a field goal. But when you give the other team the ball first and you match, whether it's a 0, a 3, or a 7, then they get the ball in sudden death. You have to take the ball first in overtime.
Hey, I got an idea. Are you going to watch this game?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's Miami's coach?
Mario Cristobal.
Cristobal.
Yeah, he came over from Oregon.
That's where he's from.
Oregon is weird because with that Nike money, Oregon always has the ability to get talent, and they have the ability, and this is underrated. When you are in an NIL environment, are facilities the tiebreaker? They should be.
They
I mean,
should be.
if coaching is equal, if you were going into college as a defensive back and you wanted to play for Nick Saban, I understand that.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah. You want to make it to the NFL.
and if you were a wide receiver and you wanted to play for Brian Hartline, I understand that.
Absolutely.
But absent that, if you're talking about two, relatively equal programs with good, solid coaches that you could win with, but not necessarily transcendent guys, it's the facilities.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we talked about this and with facilities. people don't understand the infighting in Arkansas. We have so much money in a very small 20-mile radius. JB Hunt, Tyson,
Tyson.
and the richest company of them all, Walmart.
Would Sam Walton be the richest man in the world if all of that Walton money was still under him?
Would you say?
Would Sam Walton be the wealthiest person in the world if all
No.
of that money? But there's like five of the top 20 people in the world, like five of them are from Walmart.
Or yeah, the daughter is it's like a daughter and two sons. He wouldn't be the richest man because he didn't make decisions like they make decisions.
That's a
And I don't think his goal was ever to be the richest man.
and sometimes that becomes undeniable, because that Walmart was a community friendly place where you could return something and
Oh yeah.
they weren't looking to cut the community's throat like they are now.
Yeah.
Because Walmart comes for your throat.
Oh,
You
buddy.
put them in, you got to give them concessions, you give them a 10-year tax abatement, and they're out at 10 years to another spot.
Ye-
So I'm going to give them a tax abatement.
Yup. Walmart is no joke. And I have found out that Walmart and Target, those digital prices, they change.
Oh, they do. And not only that, but Walmart will cut their suppliers' throat too.
Yes, this I know.
They're ruthless.
That's how they stay on top. They control they control everything.
So if you're listening and you're inclined to mayhem, you go to Walmart and you stick your finger in a package of meat in a way that's disgusting. You take something frozen and hide it behind the bread, you know, just get some little wins for the little guy.
Hey, I remember the days, man, when you could just take something back that Walmart sold
Yes,
and get a refund.
yes.
And I don't want to forget to wrap that part up. The Bills Broncos. What's your take on that?
Um, I saw it coming. I said it in uh group chat like 3 days ago that if they don't win, and I understand it. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand it. And I'll tell you why I understand it. Allen is young enough that you can bring in another program, switch on the fly, and see where it goes. Like that can still be done.
Yeah.
Because a quarterback's career is long enough, and he's what? How old is he now?
26.
I think
Is
somewhere
he?
between that and 28. But that's
Yeah.
that you could say you have another 5 years of his prime. And if next year,
Yeah, at least.
especially if your take on the situation is that it's New England's division right now, but
Which it is.
with a 2-year turnover, where next year you bring in some of your people and then the following year you kind of cement it. Can you change enough to rebuild on the fly and not bottom out, but make it to where you reload? That's why if I'm a Jets fan, I want them to trade back, trade down. Like if I was the Jets, I would trade down from the number 2 pick, try
Uh-huh.
to get down to like 7-ish and wind up with, Caleb Downs if you can get him. Probably is a home run because you might be getting the best player in the draft. And
Yeah.
16, I probably take Ty Simpson if I'm the Jets.
Really.
I think Simpson could be better than Mendoza and could be better than Moore. Well, Moore, by the way, I think that's the dumbest decision I've seen in years.
No, his name won't ring out next year. I don't know what he thinks.
Not going to be the number 2 pick in the draft. So he's giving up number 2 pick in the draft money. He's getting his second contract a year later. And if he gets hurt, they brought in Dylan Raiola, who was not great at Nebraska. But if Moore gets hurt and he misses a game or two and he's ready, but Raiola is riding high, you're not even getting back on the field.
You're not going to get back on field. Ask Jalen Hurts.
Yes, that's just how it is. So I don't know. Like you wanted to avoid the Jets, fine. Now what? You're not getting enough college NIL money to overcome that second contract a year earlier, a year younger. And especially now with Sam Donald, Geno Smith, Zach Wilson, I think is going to break the curse. But you can leave the Jets and go on to be successful.
Now, if that's my kid, if my kid, let's play parent. My kid, he's my kid. I'm like, bruh, the best you can improve your position now is to be the best quarterback coming out next year
What, 2 years?
over leaving now at a guaranteed second best quarterback ranking.
2 years ago in the preseason draft had the number one pick in the draft as Carson Beck coming out of Georgia. Last year,
Mm.
the preseason NFL drafts, like mock drafts, had uh, Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU as the number one quarterback in the draft. Where's is he going day two? I don't know. He might because of the position.
What
But
happened to the kid? Ooh, Miami's 4, buddy. Hey, that might be the MVP of the game. Is Jason Taylor a coach?
I think he is. I think he is. So you want to talk about the NFL?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Do you think the refs did in Buffalo? I mean, yeah, Buffalo.
Yes, but I also think they did them a huge favor not calling that safety with the holding in the end zone because that was a holding.
Yes,
That catch, I think it was pass interference. He did not play the ball, and nobody said it. I don't. It amazes me, but I thought that was a clear case of pass interference. He made contact. He did not play the ball, and the receiver coach should say, "You got to come back for that and just take in the pass interference." Because
yeah,
he came back on the ball 100%, but he was on his arm. He was not facing the ball and not playing the ball. He was playing the guy. That's classic pass interference.
dude. That is exactly. That's why we're friends. That's exactly what I thought. I got to pull up the games here. That's exactly what I thought it was pass interference. I thought people were looking at the wrong thing.
Yes, I was like, but okay, catch, not catch. Who cares? It was pass interference. Throw the flag.
I really hate they missed so many, man. They missed so many calls.
It's odd because it's such a hard job. And in some ways, they are so good. Sometimes you see a play at 100 miles an hour and you're like, no. And then you see the replay and you're like, yes. And there's also plays where you say, whichever one they called on the field, you can't overturn it based on the replay. There just isn't an angle that's 100% clear as day, but they do a good job a remarkable amount of the time, but they also have disasters a remarkable amount of time. And I think McDermott had a valid gripe. If you take a minute, hold up the game and watch that. That's too important in that spot.
That one right there for me, that's what bothered me the most was that they didn't give it time. That's all you had to do was just give it time. That's it.
Get
Then no one can question you.
Yes, get the call right. And I think catch, I think he has the ball. I think he's down. And I think the guy rips the ball away from a down guy. That's what I see.
Yeah.
But I get it.
I people they don't bother me, but it's hard it's a hard push and I wish they would take the word rigged and fix. I get what people are saying. I get it with scripted. Hell, in football terms, you ask an offensive player, what do you call your first series of plays? They're called scripted plays.
They are. They are. In fact, I think it was against Texas. Texas scored against Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Their like first drive. And one of my friends is like, sorry. I'm like, let's see what happens when the coaching starts.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like they've ran those plays
that's
Monday, Tuesday, and then they may have went over us rested a little bit, and then Thursday they ran those plays again. And in the walkthrough at the hotel, they walked through those same plays.
Yes. And that's okay. Now, how do you adjust? Do you impose your will?
Yeah,
That's
I I don't think people realize that you can't script a fucking bomb to be received and then taken away, which both were athletic plays, and it comes to the refs. Like it's that's not rigged and that's not fixed. That was still like, wow, that was a possibility. Even if you want to look at it one way or the other, it's like shit, he ripped it.
yeah, no, and I mean, you give the guy credit for making it a question, not giving up on the play and taking the ball away and putting the refs in a position to make that call. But it's that's wild. And me, the biggest thing about this weekend, Caleb Williams is that guy.
Okay, that's my next.
Caleb
You're
Williams
up here.
is that guy.
I was going to ask you, what do you think?
Let's take everybody's pick of quarterback, Pat Mahomes, out of the equation.
Okay,
I'm a Charger fan. Let's take Justin Herbert out of the equation. I'm a ride or die.
okay,
So let's take those
okay.
two guys out of the equation. You tell me I could take any two quarterbacks in the NFL. I think the only two guys that I would even consider are Joe Burrow and Caleb Williams.
Wow, keep forgetting about Burrow. Burrow's a baller, man. He's
If
really a
Burrow's
baller.
still healthy, yeah, no, you can't ignore him. Burrow is a
Yeah,
guy
he's a baller.
that, yeah, you put him around the team around him and he'll win. I don't know if Cincinnati will ever do it.
No, they're not. That offensive line is. They look like they're just gonna. They're filling each other out. I've seen two first down run. I mean, two run first and second down run, and then try to pass.
My angle I can't watch, but I can monitor.
Okay, I had to put it right in front. I went and looked after our last cast. I went and looked. Indiana has one of the highest NILs,
Yes, Indiana has a lot of money. And
a
Signetti
lot of money.
Signetti, was he James Madison? He's,
Yes,
if I'm
yes.
taking college coaches and doing the same thing, I'm not taking anybody over Kirby. Not.
No,
However,
not now.
Kirby had enormous talent on those two teams. But Kirby also is a guy that develops players. Lad McConkey was a 3-star. And Lad McConkey last year in the playoffs was the only guy against Houston. He had like 200 yards receiving, like the best rookie playoff receiving performance ever, as far as I know.
God, dog.
But yeah, no, that's Kirby's the guy to go play for, no question.
Hey, who was number 21 that was that cold ass running back for Indiana? He used to wear the visor.
Oh,
He was up for the Heisman. He was like the only player Indiana had in those years since we were talking about. And he was up for the Heisman and he was putting up like 150, almost 200 a game. You remember that?
I do. I remember they've actually had a couple of running backs that kind of hit the radar. I'm an NFL draft guy. Like by the time the draft comes on, I'll have guys that in the seventh round, I'm like, how is this guy not gone 2 rounds ago?
I gotta see who that was. Uh, they're giving me the roster now.
Good.
Damn it. I gotta find this man. I want to say Humphreys. He's holding. Ooh wee.
Yes, he is.
Did you see that?
I did. And as I like to say, I can see 2 children with less holding.
I want to say it's Humphrey. His name was, hold on, all time Indiana college Bobby Humphrey?
You know, that's the name that came to my head, but I hear Bobby Humphrey and I think that's, am I thinking Alabama? Am I just picturing a red jersey?
Maybe it feels that way, right? Bobby Humphrey. Ooh, you got a tackle. Bobby Humphrey. Let's look you up, buddy. Yeah, because he went on and played with the Dolphins. No, you're right. He played for Crimson Tide. It's not who I'm thinking of.
Tevin Coleman?
No, I don't think that's it. Oh, hold on. Good tackle. All time leading rusher IU. Why is this so hard to pull up?
Anthony Thompson?
No, it doesn't sound that
Are you thinking of
familiar.
Randall L?
Maybe that name.
He's a quarterback, but
No, this dude is definitely a running back. Passing yards. Okay, here we go. Passing touchdowns. Here we go. Rushing. How the hell? Anthony Thompson, maybe. That's 86, 87, 88, 89. Nah, I wouldn't have paid attention to it then.
then it's got to be Tevin Coleman,
Yeah,
who, you
it's
know,
got to be.
I hear Tevin Coleman and I think he's got a few R&B hits in there.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's who I'm talking. That's who I'm thinking of. He had a good season.
Well,
That's why
even
he's not pulling up anywhere else.
uh-huh.
That's why he's not pulling up anywhere else.
So what do you think about this weekend's NFL playoff games?
Okay, you ready? You're gonna give me so I can it'll be easier for me to edit. We're gonna do it like we do it where I ask you
Okay.
and you give me your pick, and then we'll go from there. Ready?
Okay.
All right. So let's go up first with New England at Denver.
I think New England is going to eat Denver alive.
Okay.
Bo Nix is hurt. Jarrett Stidham is playing quarterback.
I was gonna ask you that. That was my next question. Is he actually not
Yeah.
playing?
Broken ankle. He's done.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah, no, that's over.
Patriots back in the Super Bowl. Who would have thought it?
Yeah, wild. But they made a lot of the right moves, including getting Vrabel as coach.
That Belichick influence is still there
Yes, it is. And I think it'll also be nice because they're going to get slaughtered in the Super Bowl.
by whoever.
Yes. And that's a hard pick. Seattle's defense is the best defense in football at this point, including when the Texans were playing. The Texans' defensive line, I think, was the best defensive line at one point and would be a nightmare matchup for the Chargers if that came to pass. However, Seattle's defense is the truth. So then that game boils down to is Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford. And I'm a
All right,
Stafford.
well, here we go. So we have Los Angeles at Seattle. Who do you have?
This is hard because this to me is the Super Bowl. This is the best remaining game of the season. They played each other twice in the regular season.
Absolutely.
It was very close in both games.
How'd it go?
I think both games were less than 5 points.
Okay.
I think,
They split.
yeah, I think in the middle of the year, the Rams were clearly the better team. I think by the end of the year, Seattle developed. And I'm gonna say that I'm gonna take Seattle because I think Seattle's defense and I think Sam Darnold is going to do enough. I don't think Sam Darnold is going to lose them the game because I think that's
Okay.
the only way. that the Rams win. I think Stafford's a problem, and Stafford is going to continue to be a problem. And he has weapons. He's got Cooper Cup. He's got no, he doesn't have Cooper Cup. He has
No. In
Nakua,
Doc in
is Puka
how you say his
Nakua
name?
and Devontae Adams.
Say it one more time.
Puka Nakua,
Nakua.
yes, and Devontae Adams, and Cup is on Seattle.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle. I would not be shocked if the Rams won, but I don't think they're going to. I think Seattle's defense wins championships, and I'm going to fall back on the old saw and say that defense is undeniable. And at the end of the year, I liked him coming into the draft. I just wasn't sure he was going to hit the ground running, but Nick Emanwari has become an issue.
Yeah, true.
Yes,
You're
and
right.
I think I think Seattle's going to do it.
I have, of course, I didn't know Bo Nix was definitely out. Something was like, all right, we'll see how it plays for the next couple of weeks or next week. Um, my team lost, Jacksonville. They tried. They tried. They're just not there yet. But they did good, according to the older press lady.
Yeah, she's great.
Dude, that was so sweet. Like it was a good break from it was what I was feeling. Like I got it. I was like, y'all did more than what you were supposed to do.
You have to put it in context. And Charger fans there's a faction that Harbaugh is not it and Herbert's not it. Okay. And in my opinion, those fans are idiots.
Yeah.
Chargers had the worst offensive line in the league in terms of pass protection, dead last. The next
Damn.
team was the Texans, which was 19. It's hard
Damn.
to succeed in a passing offense with no offensive line that can't pass protect.
You can't.
So I think it was a miracle that they made it. Now, in retrospect, they held the Patriots to less points than the vaunted Texans defense did. I think they put up 16 against us and 28 against Texans.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm afraid that the Chargers are going to lose Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter,
Really?
yeah, Jesse Minter is awesome. Jesse Minter, that defense has outperformed its talent. It has some talent without question, but uh, and I'm a big believer in Harbaugh's program. But sometimes you lose your coordinator and it hurts.
Mm.
And they got rid of the offensive coordinator, Roman, who I think Roman might be tight end coach, running game coordinator for the Giants under Jim Harbaugh because they do like to trade personnel. He can't be the coordinator, but that job
No.
I think he can do. That job I think he can do.
All right, check this out. Okay, so my picks. You ready? I have I have New England beating and I'm very careful with my words. I have New England beating a hurt Denver Broncos team. And I am going to take the Rams over Seattle.
I fully understand that. I do.
It's
Stafford,
but it's
McVay,
not like I'm saying they're going to dominate or beat. I just think they're going to win the game because they figured out a way to win and some backyard. You need to get your butt inside weather in Chicago.
and that, back to Caleb, man,
That pick.
and that the receiver gave up.
Yeah,
The
it would
receiver,
have been there.
yes.
No, it was there.
Yes, no, when that guy is your quarterback, you never give up on the play. And I feel that way about Herbert, I feel that way about Mahomes, and I feel that way about Burrow, and that's why those are the four guys. I love Stafford, but I don't put Stafford in that category.
No, 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 not even close.
And Stafford is going to be the MVP. You can't give it to Drake May.
No, 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 no. That's a team effort. That's a team award.
And he's named after a weak ass rapper or a duck. But take your pick.
Dude, Caleb showed me something. There's levels to this thing.
No question.
There's levels. He can pass, okay? But what Mahomes does, and people love the no look, that's kind of what not put him on the map because he did play consistently. But those throws. Caleb said, "You've seen that happen, but let me show you it in live time." It was like he was throwing a 90-mile-an-hour curveball out of the pocket, and it was diming.
If the Chargers do the right thing and build up a wall in front of Justin Herbert, you're going to see a different version of that.
Okay.
Mahomes and Williams extend plays with their legs like Roger Staubach and Fran Tarkenton back in the day. That
Yeah.
running 40 yards back and then 20 yards forward and still getting off a good throw.
Yeah.
Herbert's the guy that your guy hits and bounces off him. At the end of the year, Herbert had a broken hand. And the first time I saw him go down in that game, I was like, he's protecting himself when he falls in ways he wasn't before. He's probably got another injury, but he's not the guy to talk about it. He's not saying shit.
Uh-uh.
In fact, do you know what Justin Herbert's voice sounds like?
That's funny. You asked me that.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I know what Caleb's fingernails look like. No, dude. I'm
Yep.
about to go back to college days to think about.
He's a dog, though. A dog.
I don't. Holy shit!
Yep.
How did he manage to do that?
And he's dating that singer. He's living that life, but he's not talking about it. If he is, it's quiet.
Dude, you said, when's the last time you heard his voice? And then I was like, wait a minute. You know what's so sad? Is I'm starting to, you know how your computer up here works? And it's like, okay, what other quarterbacks now do I think I've heard talk and have it? And then the very first one that popped up in my head was fucking Jay Cutler. I don't know why. Because he never talked hardly.
No, but we're talking about Chicago and Denver in this conversation. So Jay Cutler would be I mean, you're not going to think of Kyle Orton.
Mr. Duck himself.
No. And
Mr. Duck.
he was from the town in Iowa that I lived in.
Really?
Yep. And at the time, my brother lived in Findlay, Ohio, which is where Roethlisberger was from.
Dude, that was smart. I want y'all who are watching to not just take us for granted, especially Kevin's mind. Jay Cutler, and because Denver and Chicago, my mind dug to that person. But Kevin will one up you. And he went to another player that also can say the same thing, but actually was a backup.
As long as it's not going to lead to anything lucrative, I can know about it. You know, if you can earn a living knowing about it, it's complicated.
All right, let's do this. Where's the Super Bowl at this year?
Uh, I don't know.
Man, let me pull it up.
Yeah, next year it's in LA.
Really?
Yeah, next year if the Chargers win, it's a home game. One of the teams in it was playing for a home Super Bowl too. One of the teams in the playoffs, but I don't remember who.
Hmm. It's not Vegas, is it?
I don't think so.
Where will the Super Bowl be played this year? Winning Super Bowls, ultimate like team cities have been come to. Oh, come on. I hate when they do these subscribe now things. I'm not subscribing. Levy Stadium, home of
One of my friends just
this
said,
year's Super Bowl season. Santa Clara.
"Oh, so the Niners
The Niners, yo, they had a shot.
they would go." I knew it was somebody was going for.
Oh, dude, do you know these seats are already five figures?
No, that's wild.
It
I
just popped up. These seats are already five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. Carson Beck almost did what I know him to do.
oh yeah. I sent you two texts. You're going to be interested. I don't know if it's for this conversation, but I think you're going to like it.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to edit this out.
Yeah. Dude, you got me all into it.
No, I know, but I got it from my friend. You were looking up that other thing, the Super Bowl. So I was like, all right, let me check my text because every time there's a big game, I have a group chat going on, or people will be texting me about the game and shit. So I peeked, and one of my friends sent me that as like a sidebar because he knows I'm interested. So and I know you're interested.
Hell yeah. San Francisco. All right, how about this? Ready? Do one of our off the cuff things. Um, two things you like about no. Ooh, ready for it?
Yes.
Something that you like about San Francisco, something you do not like about San Francisco, a favorite at sports figure, because we're sports based, from that is from, played for a team around San Francisco, and also a player that you do not like that's from associated with the San Francisco area.
Okay.
Hey,
Love it. So what I like about San Francisco, I like, and this is going to tie into the way I felt about Carson Beck. I love that Fred Dean moved on from the Chargers and became a big name and a Super Bowl winner in San Francisco. If you move on from a team and you're not a twat about it, I have no ill will. If you
yeah,
I don't have any ill will towards Juan Soto. I thought I would. I was at the Mets opening day game and I was like, yeah, I because when you see it, you can feel. And if you're not going to lie to yourself, you know how you feel. I
yeah.
felt nothing. Nothing. I was like, all right. I thought there might be now I'm okay with him being a villain in the Bronx. He asked for it, and that's fine. But I don't care. So Fred Dean is what I like. Now, what I don't like, it's it's based on my age. If you're my age,
Okay.
and you're a 49er fan, you're a front row. They were trash when you were at the age where you should be selecting a team. So anybody who's a 49er fan who's my age is somebody that just picked a winning team and jumped on the bandwagon.
You're right. They were trash, man.
Garbage.
Because we're looking at the Giants, the Bears,
The Vikings,
the Redskins,
yes, the Redskins, the Vikings.
the Vikings, the Saints, AFC, Buffalo,
That's when the Dolphins and the Raiders
and
and the Steelers and the Cowboys um, and the Broncos.
and the Bron and
Orange
the Broncos.
that Orange Crush thing was real.
San
Uh,
Francisco was not a part of the conversation back then. It wasn't until the turn in the 90s.
the player I like from San Francisco, Garrison Hurst.
Of course.
Player I don't like, Will Clark.
Fuck. Oh. I'm sorry, Daxton. No, nothing. Don't say that.
Yeah, Will Clark.
Rude. I almost came up with that just so I could shit on Will Clark. Like it was, I thought about who I didn't like first, and it was Will Clark.
You know, the obvious answer to that question is going to be Jeff Kent or Barry Bonds, depending on how you feel about Bonds.
I was gonna have Bonds as my favorite,
You
and
know,
I also thought about Jeff Kent.
Bonds is a guy for me, like, I don't like him, but I respect him. And the shame for me of Barry Bonds is one of those guys that I could watch talk about hitting for hours. Pete Rose was that guy. Ted Williams was that guy. Bonds is that guy. Mattingly is that guy. There's a lot of them.
Yes,
There's a lot of them that when they talk about hitting, you're like, this is next level. They get it, and it's next level physical. Like you say it, but you could tell me to do that. All right, no, I'm still gonna suck, you know. But Bonds to and I'm surprised he wasn't a. I'm surprised he did it, and surprised he wasn't more successful. But I think it was just the wrong team when he was hitting coach for, was it Florida?
the Marlins.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
for the Marlins.
yeah. Florida at the time. I think they're Miami now. I think nobody cares. Nobody cared then. Nobody cares now.
Nah, man.
But
I
I would have liked to have seen a Bonds student become a dominant hitter.
yeah.
So now your turn.
All right. What I like. Did Albert Bell play for San Francisco?
No, he was Cleveland and Baltimore. If he played for San
Damn,
Francisco, it would have been just a cup of coffee.
damn. I'm looking for a reason. I'm just trying to, as a Mets fan, I just want to get rid of him. Him and AJ Pierzynski. Um,
Oh, oh. I may have to amend who I don't like. Will
dude, you should. That should have been your pick.
no. Will Clark or Romanowski.
Ooh,
Yeah.
give me Will Clark because I really have. The whole thing was for him.
That's great.
I can see his flat, square ass standing on the baseline. Okay, I'm sorry. Um,
That's hysterical.
what I love about the Bay Area is, or San Francisco, um, is it that it is in the Bay Area, and artistically, there hasn't been too many places I've been where all of me just was not afraid or felt tempered. All of me is like, oh my God, let me just take all my clothes off and just be free. That's that was a nudist colony in South Florida. No, it was the Bay Area, San Francisco. So that's what I love. And I understand why that movement happened in the 60s and 70s there, because that energy exists still.
That's very funny. Did you see my Facebook post where the too blessed to be stressed is not as good as too blessed to get dressed?
Yes. So so that's what I love about the Bay Area. What I don't like about the Bay Area is the misleading homeless people. It was the first time I saw Asian people homeless in my life, and it still has messed with me because I've only seen homeless people that were Asian in the movie Big Trouble Little China and in San Francisco. Nowhere else in the world. I know they exist, but nowhere else in America. Favorite sports figure is Barry Bonds. But you know what? Keep Will Clark. I'm gonna break the rules a little bit. My favorite sports figure is Barry Bonds. My least favorite sports figure is Barry Bonds.
I knew you were going to say that, and I kind of I could see it. I I would not put him in the Hall of Fame. I hold a hard line. Like
Mhm.
you make all the money, you have the record, you have the MVPs, all of it, keep all of it. But you cheated. I mean, the guy's head grew, you know? It's so I get it. And sometimes, yeah, that's what was always my answer about comedy. What do you like about comedy? I like to travel and the people. What do you hate about comedy? I hate the travel and I hate the
I'm
people.
like,
You know, it's it's the truth.
dude, he was a Hall of Famer without it. He was
He-
a Hall of Famer without it. And it was he was a Hall of Famer without it, but it goes in line with who Barry Bonds actually is as a human. It's like, let me say it again. He was still a golden glove, batting champ player without it, but who he is and what he is couldn't allow not to be the
Now,
best. Like,
let me ask you a question.
yeah.
Exact same drug protocol. Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh God.
No injuries, no injuries,
Oh,
and additional power where every ball you hit goes 30 to 50 yards deeper. So balls that don't make the warning track are flirting with the second deck.
people don't. If I watch baseball, people have no idea how good of a hitter Ken Griffey Jr. was,
That swing.
and putting that ball on the opposite side of the field with drugs. With drugs, I
And
think he would have hit 30 opposite. 30. I don't tell me I'm wrong because you know baseball better than me.
there's no
I
question.
think he could have hit at least 25, but I say more closer to 30. We're talking about on drugs back then.
He would
Opposite field.
he'd have been the guy that like had an awkward swing and only had one hand on the bat and still hit it out. You know, he just had he had the swing.
Oh yeah, it's
That's why
butter.
I'm sort of like that. There has to be a price that Bonds pays. There has to be.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the price. No Hall of Fame. And on behalf of Ken Griffey Jr. and everybody who says Bonds was the best ever, uh, I can't give it to him. I
I
understand.
can't say he was the best ever.
I understand, but I can't give it to him.
No,
It
no.
there's arguments like you want to talk about who the best quarterback in the NFL. You can talk about any of the four guys that we said. You could talk about Stafford. You know, do you want to jump the gun and throw Drake May in there? Okay, I don't agree, but you can. Um,
He hasn't shown me anything. I'm not knocking the kid.
I know,
He hadn't shown me anything.
but you can't say Jared Goff. And Jared Goff made a Super Bowl and may win a Super Bowl, but you can't say he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
No, not yet.
You can't. You can't say Brock Purdy is. Brock Purdy in that system with that coach could absolutely win a Super Bowl, but you can't say he's the best. You can't make a credible argument.
Any of those names you just mentioned
Uh,
is just like saying Matt Ryan at any point was the best quarterback.
fact, fact. He
You
won
know
a
what I'm Does that make sense what I just said?
no, of course it does. Of course it does. Because here's the thing, and this is the truth. Drake May could win the MVP. I don't think he will. I think it's Stafford's, but he could win it.
It-
But okay, he wins the MVP, that's fine. If we're drafting quarterbacks for next year, every team is bare,
Ooh,
going position by position. You're picking quarterbacks. If you pick him in the top five, you're a moron.
I think I could go even further. I think he could I think he falls to the bottom of the top 10.
He valid, valid. And again, that's not even a knock on the guy, but that's reality.
Yeah. And it's you're right. It's not a knock. It is so not a knock at all. Is it not a knock? But
There's levels.
yeah,
There's levels.
yeah, yeah. There's levels to it.
If
I
you're
mean,
if
he
you're
catches fire.
if you're picking going forward for the rest of their career, that also is a different equation. Like a couple of years ago, you might have picked Aaron Rodgers for a year, not for the remainder of his career.
No,
You know,
that thing is
yes,
that
no,
thing is done.
it is. But at
It's
35,
done.
could you have picked Aaron Rodgers for the year? Yeah. Would you pick him for
Yeah,
the career? You'd have been dumb not to pick Josh Allen or Lamar or Burrow or Herbert or Mahomes. There was, 5 to 7 guys that you pick above him for the remainder of their career. But for a given year, I still wouldn't, but I could see it.
yeah. Uh-oh. I love the way that Miami defense plays, man.
The thing about Miami is there's the two guys that are the most important guys in the program, Cristobal and Beck, that I think don't win the battle in this game. I don't think
You don't
Cristobal,
think so?
I don't think he outcoaches Signetti. And Signetti, I don't see Signetti as a guy who could succeed in the NFL. I think he's a little too goofy. I think grown men, football players, are not going to respond to him.
It's oh, before I forget, because it popped up on my mind. Ready for this one?
Yes,
Well, first, let me figure it out. Let me figure out how you feel with the Giants' new hire. We haven't talked since then.
love it. I love it. The only negative to it is, I go with my daughter. My daughter, she spends every other Christmas with me. So on the year that she doesn't spend Christmas with me, she comes on the 27th. A lot of times after the 27th is week 17. So my daughter and I go to the Jet game or the Giant game, whichever team is at home that week. Now, it could be we're not fans of either team historically.
Right.
Last year, she was here after Christmas, but we had 2 weeks that we could go because they were both home. So we went to a Jet game and a Giant game back to back. And she's like, whichever one I like better, that's going to be my team. And I was like, well, just don't pick the Jets. And, and she did. She's like, yeah, the Giant game was better, more fun. We were at the game when the Giants made the playoffs against the Colts with Daniel Jones and Daboll. That
Yeah.
year that happened to be the game. We were also at a game where the Eagles won the division in MetLife. So we've had,
So you were at Saquon's last game in a Giants uniform then.
probably, yeah. And I'm a Saquon guy. I got my daughter a Saquon jersey because I'll look at Philadelphia as well for that week, that game.
Yeah.
But I'm going to base it on the game, how much it costs to go to the game. And if you love your family and you're taking them to a Philadelphia game, for God's sake, have Philadelphia sports gear on.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you gotta. Give me 1 second. My
Okay.
can shut itself off if I don't hit okay.
Okay. I'm gonna grab some more coffee too. Ooh, that was a bad call. That was a bad call.
Okay, this game is anybody's game though.
It looks like both coaches are came out and said, I'm not gonna lose the game in the first half.
You know what
Look
though?
at that.
Yep.
Did you that was a grown man play.
Yeah. No, I was saying this to my friend who's a big Miami guy. Arvell Reese is probably going to go in front of him. And in the lead up to the draft, you're going to hear about Ruben Bain having short arms. That's why Aaron Donald fell. And I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Donald because that's a lot to put on somebody.
Buddy.
It is. But I think he's a guy that has a serious chance to be the best player in this draft. And if he falls, and he could, if he falls out of the top 5, that's insane.
Huh.
He's falling out of
Oh,
top 10, but he
out
could,
of arms? Arms?
Yeah, well, it's the thought process is in the NFL, the guy who gets his hands inside of you and onto your chest has control of you in the trenches. So if you have longer arms, you have the other guy, like you hold your hand on a kid's head and he's trying to swing and he just
Yeah.
it's that concept on an NFL level, but then you just with the arm and if you have that grown man strength, it's not going to matter. You get lower. You have shorter arms because you have a lower center of gravity. That low man wins is also real.
Yeah. Now that's real.
Yes, no question. No question.
That is leverage.
Yes. So, but leading up, they call it silly season. You have the postseason, you have the combine, then you have pro day. And then when all of that is done, that stupid shit starts to pop up because teams will, you're picking 10th and there's a guy who's going to go in the top seven. You spread a rumor about him and he falls to 10, you get your guy. So there's that whole like misinformation, jockeying for position shit that goes on, and that is what's going to be said about him. There's going to be teams floating that, and it's silly,
It is silly.
but
It is silly.
it's going to happen.
It is silly. Because they did that exact thing to that kid that played at Missouri, and he never was gonna fuck anybody in the shower. He was just gonna suck dicks.
Sam, yeah, and so what?
I know. I felt bad for him. He was the defensive player. He was ranked nationally, and he was the best defensive player in the SEC, and he did not get a fair shot. He should have kept his mouth and his asshole shut.
Well, that'd also leave him time to study on Friday night.
All right. The second part to me asking you about the Giants' new hire. Soon as I found out that they dumped McDermott, I didn't see that coming. That caught me off guard. Actually, it really caught me off guard. Like we kind of mentioned it earlier. Um, I thought the only reason they would do that is because they had someone else that they wanted even before the season started. You know what I mean? Like whoever made that move and push, there was someone that they wanted Josh for.
It's
Now, my question is, do you think that Harbaugh coach, coaches the Giants if the Bills job was available?
I do.
You think he still goes with the Giants?
In fact, when he was up, I wanted him to get the job. I would prefer the Jets and the Giants to both be good because
Okay.
it's ingrained in me from when I was younger. When I was younger, the NFL you had three games: early game Sunday, late game Sunday, and Monday night.
And Monday night, that was it.
That was it. And
That was it.
Jets and the Giants always they would never both in the 1 o'clock game. That was one of the money moves. That as the money,
Ah,
yes, but in those days they tried to protect your local area and your franchise. So the Jets would be the 1 o'clock game, and the Giants would be the four, or the Jets would be the four, and the Giants would be the one.
yeah.
And football was just more interesting when they were good. And that's
Yeah, that's true.
ingrained in me enough that I still feel that way. I
What?
yeah. The longer it goes on that it's a close game, I think the more it favors Indiana.
I think so too.
I do. I do. But I don't think Harbaugh, when all of the jobs were open except Buffalo, I thought he was definitely coming to the Giants. I thought the only two other teams that had any possibility at all were the Titans, because if you believe in Cam Ward, and I do, before he went into the portal and went to Miami, he was in the draft, and I had him as a third rounder. And most people did not. I had him as a day two pick and a strong day two pick.
Yeah, I didn't have him for I didn't have him first quarterback out at all.
Um, well, he started at Incarnate Word. That's wild.
That is very wild.
Okay. This is uh I'm not
It's gonna
shocked.
be
I'm not shocked. I don't think either team really played. I guess the Big Ten is a bigger test of your mettle,
at times.
but I didn't think this was a big year, and they didn't really play. They didn't play a hard schedule, did they?
No, no. They didn't even play.
They
I
didn't
don't
play.
think they played
I don't think
two top 10 teams.
they didn't, and they also were damn lucky to beat Iowa. That
Very lucky.
circus catch, but sometimes you do what it is that you have to do to win. But yeah, I felt like the two teams that were a threat to the Giants were the Titans. People were saying the Falcons, and I thought that was dumb.
Yeah.
But Miami, that owner is a Michigan guy, and he has a relationship with the Harbaughs. He flew out, he took like a helicopter or some stupid shit to try to hire Jim Harbaugh when Jim was the coach at Stanford. And word got out, and he had to give Sperano an extension and a raise because he publicly humiliated him. And then he fired him during the year, which if
Yep.
people is watching, I'm your guy. You hire me, pursue someone else immediately, pay me off, and I will go away and I will throw you your flowers.
Yeah.
You know, I think it could be Daboll, which I want Daboll to be the Chargers offensive coordinator, but he has a relationship with Josh Allen. The question is, can he answer the question about what went wrong in New York?
Evidently, Atlanta doesn't care about things like that.
No, would you think the best job now is definitely Buffalo that remains.
Oh, hands down.
Yes, and Stefanski went to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, he went to Atlanta. He got a pay raise
Okay.
for
So
having a worse record than the coach they let go of.
I'm okay with it.
You are?
I'm okay with it. Cleveland is a cesspool, the organization.
Oh, it's dude. You talk about a job I wouldn't want. I
That's
don't want to have to talk about Cleveland. Cleveland wore me out on Cleveland the 2 or 3 weeks that we talked about Cleveland.
yes.
They wore me out.
Uh, and obviously somebody's going to take that job.
I think in-house.
Maybe, maybe
The I think they're going to make a mistake because it's Cleveland, and they're going to promote the defensive coordinator.
Jim Schwartz.
Think they're going to promote Jim Schwartz, and that is a huge mistake because Cleveland, the city, wants a quarterback.
It's a big play. They took off the touchdown. I thought he scored.
He
Like I
stepped
said,
out.
okay. I got to do this to watch, and I'm not gonna, but because I bet I'm interested in if the game starts to get away, then I'll just be on my phone while the game is on. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's tight. It's tackle after tackle,
the best job after Buffalo, in my opinion, Pittsburgh.
dude. Actually, I would. My personal choice, the best job is Pittsburgh, and then Buffalo
Pittsburgh
because
would
of the
be.
Roonies.
It would be, but you got to have a quarterback. Now, I think Pittsburgh is going to
Oh,
get.
oh,
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. You're
yeah.
saying in team. I'm thinking organization.
No, that's
Gotcha.
why Pittsburgh is second because I think Pittsburgh is going to wind up with Malik Willis. And
Okay.
I think I was talking to one of my friends who's a Jet fan, and I'm like, and he was saying Malik Willis, Mac Jones. I'm like, but they're not going to the Jets. They're not.
No,
The Jets,
no.
the best probably case scenario for the Jets is to draft Ty Simpson and trade for Kyler Murray.
Whoa.
Yes.
Say that again so the people can hear you in the back.
Best case scenario is to draft Ty Simpson and trade for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray will get Aaron Glenn to 9 wins, 7 to 9 wins, which is enough. I like Aaron Glenn. I think Aaron Glenn is going to be a good coach.
Okay.
Yes, and my balls are fully on the table with that statement.
Okay.
But I
I
do,
haven't heard that take yet. I have not heard that take. It makes all the sense.
I do. I think he's a Parcells guy. Parcells after year one thought he was going to get fired. He basically said, all right, if I don't get fired when I go back next year, I'm not doing this shit anybody's way but my own." And he learned and he self scouted. I think Aaron Glenn is going to do that, and I think Aaron Glenn has Parcells as a guy to talk to. So
Okay.
I think Parcells is going to influence him, guy. And I think what he has to do to keep his job is to produce an upper echelon defense and a functional offense. I was very disappointed in Justin Fields. Another guy left Georgia, but no ill will towards me. Go play, go make your money, no problem.
Yeah.
No problem at all. I thought he would be better. I thought Pittsburgh did him wrong, bumping him for Russell Wilson.
I This is when I was hard on just in underneath my Chicago Bear blanket every night. I was rooting for him. I I know people say offensive coordinator, but shit, nowadays it's not what it used to be. You might be on a different these kids, like they complain about the pros having different offensive coordinators. I get it. It is a part of it. But these little motherfuckers have been playing on different teams throughout their year. They've dealt with different coaching. Very few kids now start out with a coach, go to one high school and play. They've been bouncing forever. So I don't and Justin Fields is of that class.
Yes. And this is what I thought about Justin Fields going into the year. He has to pass enough to keep a defense honest. And he didn't do it.
He's got legs. Oh my God, he has legs.
He probably could switch to running back and or uh H back and be
Yeah,
a little bit of a gimmick.
dude, he covers so much of the field. If you're on the side of him or chasing him down, you can just call it because those strides are like gazelle strides, like the old school receivers when they used to high kick.
You know who the top two rushing quarterbacks this year were?
Let me guess. Allen,
Yep.
Stop. What's his name in New Orleans?
No,
No, Dart.
no. But the kid in New Orleans used to be his backup in college. That's not a good hint because yeah, I don't think you'll get it from that hint. But when you hear it, you're gonna be like, oh shit,
Who?
Justin Herbert.
Are you serious?
Justin Herbert is surprisingly athletic. He has those long legs that when he gets moving, he eats up territory like Josh Allen. They're not the speed guy that Lamar is, and not the elusive guy that Lamar is, but they're also, and this is a big thing, big enough to take the hits like Cam Newton.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm going to say this, and I'm not editing this out. Matter of fact, I might just clip this as like not clickbait, but just to be like, oh shit, what are they talking about? I feel that the way I've been looking at football has been right, and why I still love sports and the game is that you can see a player's energy, you can see personality, and you like the way they play, and it's like you get their desire, their will. You fall in love with the winners, the sacrificers. I think Cam Newton, after his playing days have now gone, uh, is proof that he, I would not, he's still a child to someone. It's just a spoiled fucking brat that has been given everything. Size, mobility. He didn't have to work for any of that. And I think he did the bare maximum minimum, if there's such a thing. the
Uh,
bare maximum minimum.
I think
And what he does off the field is exactly how it is that I see him on the field. I'm celebrating every touchdown. Leave me alone. It ain't my fault when we lose.
I think he needs to go to counseling to get the fuck over the fact that he couldn't beat out Tim Tebow.
Every chance he gets.
I think it bothers him.
Every chance he gets.
It bothers him.
And you know what? After now, what we just said, he wasn't going to beat him out because he didn't work hard.
No, and Tebow was Tebow was what they call a leader of men in college.
Yeah.
You know, he was that goofy guy that you still respected. You didn't want to hang out with him on Friday night, but if somebody fucked with him, you would have to beat them
Let's shit on Cam Newton some more. Let me plug up my laptop real quick. Hold
up.
on. Oh, I can't wait. I'm running back to the laptop to shit on him some more.
That's funny. Is he in the Capri Pants Hall of Fame?
Buddy, he won't let it go. And you know what? Those hats, those ridiculous hats, and like his hair, and he used this excuse that it shows who he is and his expression. No, you're hiding. You're hiding, Cam Newton. Cam Luton. You looted. You looted fans, applause, and support. He looted Cam Luton. He looted all these kids support doing Superman, and he turns out to be a freaking fallacy. I am not a fan of Cam Newton. You know what? If I ever come across him and I know he's going to be somewhere, I'm going to have somebody with me and I'm going to tell him at some point when I'm talking to him, throw a football on the ground. Just drop a football. Like,
That's
there's no excuse for that. And I get it. And he's like, I overcame it. No, you're so cocky.
he the Cam
He didn't get
Newton.
over it. He's just so cocky that he's like, my shit don't stink. I'm sorry.
No, the Cam Newton that we should focus on is the Patriots Cam Newton.
That's good. Because I think he tried there, but it was too late. I think he really wanted to transition into a great teammate and a good quarterback, not a glorified running back.
No, but and he's kind of like a lot of these guys who are NFL, like he was MVP one year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, he'll let you know that.
but you're the MVP in the NFL. There should be something after for you, and it's is he a like a Timu Shannon Sharp?
Yes. Absolutely.
You know,
That's freaking good. That's freaking good. He is a T and what I can't stand the most about this motherfucker. Got children in the house. What I can't stand about him the most is that he brings he's still trying to impress women. He's played in the NFL. He's been the star jock. He wanted like he's still talking about being an alpha male and what men are supposed to do and the kind of woman and all these things. And he has fucking 7, 8 kids wanting more, not married. Not everybody can afford to be a deadbeat pet TV personality.
yeah. Now, is he gonna be a guy who eventually gets it?
Nope, nope. Because he played, and I'll keep it real with you. he played a card to get the black community behind him, and there's a mentality that comes with that. You dig what I mean? Like he'll go so far, but he'll keep it real. Man, fuck him, yo. I'm sorry. I do not like Cam Newton, yo. I do not like Cam I am. Sam I am. I don't. I don't like him. And you
No.
know what sucks? Yeah, he's a big, you know what I hate even more? He's such a big motherfucker. I can't say that I'd whip his ass when I see him. I don't want to run into him.
No. No. 6'1", 240 when he played, which means he probably walks around at 260.
Dude, like he's like 6'4".
Truthfully, I'm not even sure I could take him out with my car.
That's, I've seen him stand up to people, and I'm like, if he didn't have them capri pants on, I wouldn't known that was Cam Newton. I would have thought that was an offensive line.
But now, like, yeah, now compare him to Steve McNair.
Like as a player,
Yeah,
oh, there's no compare.
none whatsoever.
Okay, how about this? I'm getting goosebumps. Goosebump alert. I need to get a button. Goosebump alert where I can hit it and then like some goosebumps comes out. That means I'm really feeling this shit. Cam Newton has more than one MVP and at least that one Super Bowl if he had that Steve McNair factor,
Fact. Fact.
right? He has more than one MVP and at least that one Super Bowl. And he would have friends.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
yeah, I'm so not a fan, yo. Like, and I defended him. I
well,
defend
yeah,
like you're my guy, so I can just be honest with you, right? I have the world is it's like, all right, you gotta be careful, you gotta watch certain things. And because we're both in black skin, there's that fucking element, and I hate it because it curves everything. It curves your vision. I would have never wasted all that time cheering for him. How about that? How about that? Now there's an interesting take, my friend.
that
If
is.
Cam Newton was in white skin, how would I feel? You know what I mean? I would have never even cheered.
But okay, but who's that guy?
Who? Good question.
Who's that guy? Who's the white Cam Newton?
Cutler?
Can you see
No.
pants? I
But he
mean,
had an arm minus the throwing.
yes. Like I don't know.
He never got an MVP. He never even got close.
I'll tell you who the closest is,
Hold on, let me think about this yet. Hold on to your guy and keep collecting data. I really want to work on this one.
and it's not physical. So if you're looking for a white guy that's going to truck you, that's not it.
I'll defend my Cutler with the how aloof he was and disconnected. Let me
Self-important
think.
direction I'm going here.
All right, go ahead and shoot yours.
Aaron Rodgers,
Good
up
job.
on talent, self-important, a guy that you wouldn't be caught dead with if you had any choice.
Good job.
That yeah, if somebody was beating him up and you're out with him in public, you'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta defend this asshole. You know?
Dude, that that is good. That's really good. And they both suck when they do podcasts.
Oh, who the hell wants to listen to Aaron Rodgers?
Ugh. I don't care if you shove a whole freaking COVID thing up your butt, buddy. I don't care about your opinion. Like all of a sudden you're gonna pop out and just start talking about this shit. Do you know how many Chicago Bear fans there are wishing your death upon you?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Dude, I that was a good question, man. Aaron Rodgers, you're right. That is a good one. Did he ever get a championship?
Yes. One.
One. Let me remind help. Who was on that squad? No, he got it early, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes, that's why I can't remember. He got it early. He got it with who was still the coach there? They just got rid of him about what, 3, 4 years ago, right?
Yes, he went on to the Cowboys.
Yes, I can't remember his name.
McCarthy.
McCarthy. I'm looking at his stoic face right now.
And McCarthy will get a job.
Oh, without a doubt. Put up that three. Nailed it. Missed it.
Yep.
Missed it.
Yep.
That was important, homie.
It was. I think
I would have went for it though. 4th and 2,
yeah.
30 seconds left in the first half.
And I think at halftime we should end the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. Oh my God.
No, it's gonna be a long one. It's gonna take a while for it to buffer and all of that, but that's okay. You have a lot to cut out because there's times where we were stopping and watching the game. There was that whole where you get protested by the NAACP if you don't cut it out.
The Jewish stuff that we said was funny as fuck, especially the one you said about your son. But that's got to go.
No, it is. You can. You can.
Yeah.
And
Not now.
I love Jewish people. I
Yeah.
genuinely, but not all of them. That's true of any group you want to say. I love gay people. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
I love black people. Not all of them.
Not all of them.
And if you
Shit,
don't
I
say
say
that,
that.
you're full of shit. In fact, if you told me about people from the Northeast, passionate sports fans, little Irish guys named Kevin, like they sound like a bunch of dick Red Sox fans. I don't want nothing to do with them. So
Dude, that's why I said AJ Przynski. I thought you could have picked him because didn't he go to didn't he play in Boston? He did play in Boston.
he might have, but he was just his career really was his peak punchability was as a White Sox,
Okay.
and nobody cared.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
All
are
right.
times and places that yeah nobody cares.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
I'm glad. All right. Dude, we got to keep doing it. All right. That's all I got to say. We got to keep doing it.
I agree. Let me stop the recording.